So I'm sure everyone's heard the bad news, and if not, let me be the bearer of bad news about the future for the Uncle from Another World anime. For those who haven't heard, there is going to be an indefinite hiatus. We don't know exactly when the show will be coming back for episode 8 onwards. All we know is that for the month of September, I think it's episodes 3 through 6 are going to be rebroadcasting on TV in Japan, and the publicly made excuse is because COVID caused production delays. If you go behind the bullshit, it's because of mismanagement on the higher ups. And if you don't care about any of the news surrounding the delay and just want to hear my thoughts on episode 7 now that there's pretty easy available subtitles, use the embedded timestamps in the description. You can skip directly there if that's all you care about. But I do want to make a mention of this. I was originally going to make a separate video on this topic, but it just exhausted me so much that it kind of just, I decided if I'm going to talk about the bullshit, I want to at the very least be able to talk about the stuff that makes me happy surrounding the show, so I can end on a high note, however long it takes for the show to get back. Now, like I said, the publicly made excuse is that COVID caused production delays, but as Kevin, who is very good with breaking down the bullshit I find, I'll leave a link to all this stuff either in the description or the pinned comment, one of the two. Ultimately, there was a director who ultimately left the production very recently and basically said there was no third-party staff to animate their episode. So in doing so, they just noped the hell out of there because there was no third-party staff that would help them finish the episode on time. And the whole idea is that, this person was doing countdown saying, there's T-minus this amount of time before my episode's supposed to air. No one's working on it. So COVID's a very easy to use excuse these days because people accept that COVID could then cause delays on things, but it definitely seems like it's basically just mismanagement, which is nature of the course with anime production. Too much anime being made, not enough staff to go around. So when shit hits the fan and production mismanagement causes them to say, well shit, we don't even have an animated episode to air and we could blame it on COVID then, they just say, you know what, we'll just take a break here and who the hell knows when we'll get the remaining episodes. It's a shame because I truly think Uncle from Another World is one of the best anime, not only of this season, but of this year. It's a fresh take on the Isekai genre. I love the retro feel to the aesthetic, and honestly, even watching episode 7, it doesn't feel like they were running into production issues. Yeah, there's some shortcuts, but those shortcuts are generally used for comedic directing. And it's just a shame that we'll have to wait who knows how long to get the remaining episodes. And, if this was something where it was actually workers' health and things like that, I'd be like, of course, let's wait for quality. I understand how stressful this job can be, but the issue is that these production committees, they force out things before they're ready, and in doing so, we either run into an unfinished production, or in the case of this, there's no episodes left. And this is a seasonal broadcast. There's certain shows that have started up. I believe the latest Made in Abyss season was fully completed before it started airing. I believe Mob Psycho 100, the new season starting next season, that has been 100% finished. And hopefully more and more studios will take note and do it like that so that we don't run into issues like this where they can actually finish the production. And obviously we don't have to deal with the bullshit that is production committees caring more about money than worker safety. Now, with that rant out of the way, I do want to talk about episode 7 before who knows how long we gotta wait for the next episode. Maybe we'll never see it. Maybe we'll see it in a year's time. Who the hell knows, right? With the cliffhanger to leave us off on with the introduction of a hero, it's definitely has my interest and will keep my interest until we see the next batch of episodes. But for an episode that was very hilarious, I mean, the Hedgehog bit was probably one of the funniest things they've done to date. This man's thinking he's about to see Sonic the Hedgehog, and all he gets is a generic-looking hedgehog, which he thinks doesn't make sense for his own world, because this man is so just disconnected from reality that Sonic is what he thinks real hedgehogs look like. The whole idea that he can talk to these monsters and how he's building up, and I was like, okay, I wonder what they're gonna do. He's probably gonna attack him or something, he'll bite his head or something. Nope, instead he's like, no, I don't like eating humans, I just love killing them slow and painfully, and then he just obliterates it with this inferno fire blast, and that shit left me rolling. Legitimately, one of the funniest jokes that this show has going for it, and that's one of the biggest reasons why it's gonna be such a shame waiting for more, because this show is comedy gold. It's Isekai gold, it's comedy gold, it's just a perfect production through and through. And to see just the idea of, once again, showing more about his life and just what people thought of him. In this case, we have literally a group of people who, now we know one of which was the hero. He very much looked like he was building a friend group and then immediately erased their memories and caused such a disruption in the flow of character development because he's just so paranoid that, oh shit, you saw me healing the barrier, you didn't tell anyone, well, we gotta be sure. This man has gone from almost having a harem to almost having legitimate friend groups and just keeps ruining his life and making it so much harder, and that will always be a hilarious moment for his character, as then you just so casually end with the whole declaration of who is the hero, even though she seems like a bit of a klutz. The highlight for me in terms of character moments was actually just my boy Takafumi, and how you get this moment with someone who looks like that creepy predator who's trying to say, oh, come on, baby, let's go to the beach, and looks like he's trying to cop a field of the melons. Turns out, I think they said it was like a 4th grader or something. This is some JoJo level age discrepancy, and it left me rolling when not only did it turn out like they were like childhood friends, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they'll de-escalate this creepy situation. Turns out it's literally a kid just tagging along, and I'm like, what are you doing right here? I love the fact that you literally had this like magic transfer over to nephew, and he already in game mode. Not only is he starting to show his own feelings for her, which he's already shown feelings for him, and Uncle is clued into the fact and is trying to be the best wingman despite not being able to be his own wingman. But I love the fact that he was ready, he was going to do some illusion, and then he was going to take her up to the roof and stuff. The fact that he's just like talking like, hey, I've always planned for this moment if I ever could have power, so now that Uncle has given me them, he knew exactly what to do with it. It kind of felt like the gamer's wet dream moment where this is the moment he's been fantasizing for so long, ignoring the creepy person who he thought was going to be a disruption to his childhood friend / potential love interest. This is a moment where he could literally just have fun with magic, which is what every kid wants to do when they imagine when they're playing on the playground and stuff. Just this boy actually got to do it because of his cool-ass uncle, who basically gets YouTube shamed because all he does is play retro games and isn't large enough to be recognizable at a first glance. I think there's a hell of a lot of possibilities with the future of the show, just the casual kind of day-to-day adventures of these three kind of building their connection. You introduce one of our girl's friends here, and I love the whole interaction of like, give me the numbers of all the boys that apparently like her, and the fact that she got apparently hotter over the last 6 months, so there's more demand for her. There's a lot of good character moments that are building up and making this whole kind of family love interest dynamic working really well as you casually watch the anime that was the uncle's life, and you just somehow feel more ashamed / laughing at his own failures, such as the moment of trying to steal the goddamn sweater back, which he had no reason to do. And the fact of the matter is, he chained her to a bed and was stripping her and then literally got his face pummeled, which you can't argue he didn't deserve in that moment, but it was sweet to see how she immediately wrapped up his head before getting the hell out of Dodge. Not only does this work as a hilarious comedy that breaks every trope and trend that you're used to seeing in the Isekai genre, it's just a legitimately wholesome slice of life series with that violent undertone that is used as a drama crutch without making it drama in the way that you think everything's gonna break and the next episode is going to make it so characters hate each other. No, it's just in the moment characters might get a bloody nose because of just actions like stripping someone down without their consent, or the fact of a misunderstanding thinking a JoJo level kid is apparently some like deviant predator who turns out to just be a very misunderstood character. The show is going to be missed for however long it decides to stay gone. Whenever it does pop up, I plan to make videos on it. Just unfortunately with the disruptions of scheduling, you know, it's possible I might have to do it not when it initially airs, but maybe in batch reviews or whatever. But I do plan to cover the remaining episodes in some way, shape, or form. It's just now we wait, and waiting is sometimes fine. I'm perfectly fine waiting if it's because, you know, stuff actually happened that was unforeseen. But when it comes down to production committees forcing things out too soon that literally directors have to quit because there's no staff to work on their episodes, it's hard to feel sympathy for the higher-ups, but definitely I feel for the team that is responsible for this clearly a passion project that deserves so much better. But thoughts and feelings on episode 7 if you have any, or even the delay, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.